Hey guys, it's Gabby from Group 4 here with assignment number 3. And what I wanted to talk about in this video was video games and how little we see of women in video games in general. But when we do happen to see them, they only ever fall into two categories. We either see them as the damsel in distress. An example here is Princess Peach from the Super Mario Bros. Games. Here she is being abducted by Bowser. And the other category that they tend to fall in is the overly sexualized protagonist. An example of that here, Lara Croft from the Tomb Raider games. And I just wanted to touch on the two different categories that women tend to fall in video games and give you some examples of each. And then in the end, I wanted to present to you guys an interesting article that I found and get some feedback on that and maybe get your guys' opinions on why, we don't really see a lot of women in video games. So first, let's touch up on the damsel in distress side of it. There's an interesting video on YouTube about damsels in distress in particular, and they talk about a game called Dinosaur Planet, which is very interesting. Dinosaur Planet has two protagonists. It's a game that was made for the Nintendo 64, and one of the protagonists' name is Crystal. She's a 16-year-old fox who fights off monsters with a magical staff. And if you've never heard of this game, it's okay because it was never released. What they did was they put it out in the GameCube as an installment to the Star Fox games. It was actually released under the title Star Fox Adventures. And here's a cover of what the original game was, Dinosaur Planet. That's Crystal there all the way over to the left. This was the game that was never released. And then here we have a picture of what Crystal looks like in the actual released game, Star Fox Adventures. Her character was actually downgraded from a protagonist in Dinosaur Planet to a damsel in distress in Firefox. And this is essentially the role that she has throughout the whole game. She's, kind of floating there waiting for someone to come rescue her. And also you can see that her costume has changed significantly. She's wearing far less material in her costume than she was in her protagonist role. And then some other examples of damsels in distress. Again, it's worth mentioning twice, Princess Peach. And then the other one that you all might know of is Princess Zelda. And if we go over to the next category, some examples of overly sexualized protagonists. One is Samus. If you don't know who Samus is, she's from the Metroid games. She's essentially an intergalactic bounty hunter who wears an armored suit and she carries guns and missiles and stuff like that. The reason I bring up Samus is because there's been controversy in the last, couple years about her costume. This armored suit was her original costume, but then a game came out for the Game Boy Advance in 2004 called Metroid Zero Mission, and she's seen for the first time. Here's a picture from it, in this little blue outfit that she's wearing. Nothing major changed, really. She doesn't have a helmet anymore, and she's now wearing a blue outfit instead of an orange suit. And you see her hair, her blonde hair in a ponytail. She looks a little bit more feminine here. But then a game came out for the, I believe it's the GameCube, and it's called Metroid Other M. And here's a picture of her in both her costumes, her orange armored suit, and then again in her Zero suit. However, her features are played up much more, her curves are accentuated, she's much more feminine in this one, and also if you look down at her shoes, they have given her a heel to her shoes, so they've really given her more feminine details in this game. I don't know if it's fair to say that she's been downgraded here, but she's definitely a lot more feminine in this game than she has been in the past. Another person you'll recognize is Lara Croft from Tomb Raider. This is a picture from a website, and it's her facial features and how they've changed throughout the years as technology has grown. And they also give you some pictures of how her costume has changed over the years. It goes from 1996 all the way up to 2013. And basically, if you look through the pictures over time, her outfit changes. Her shorts get a little shorter. The neckline in her blue tank top gets a little lower. Her bust increases over time. it's not until we get all the way to 2013 that she probably looks more how women look today. You know, they actually give her long pants to wear as opposed to the really short shorts. She's still wearing a tank top, but the neckline is, decent length, and her bust isn't, crazy huge. So that's that. I just thought that was interesting to see how her outfit changed over time. And the last thing that I wanted to mention and get your guys' opinion on was this article here. It's called "Video Games Need More Women, and Asking for That Won't End the World." And it's a list of 5 different responses that game developers give when asked the question, why don't we see more women in video games? And some of their responses were pretty shocking and confusing to me. So one is adding female lead characters doubles the art budget. Another is asking for more women characters will lead to tokenism and positive discrimination. The next is women don't play action adventures anyway, so what does it matter? The next one was developers are afraid to put female avatars into games in case their clothing is criticized or they are accused of violence against women. And the final one is, but it's not realistic to have all these powerful women. So I found that article frustrating and peculiar, so I'm really interested in seeing what you guys think about any of those responses. If one of them or more than one strikes a response out of you, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Thanks for listening, you guys. I'll see you all in the comments.